When the iTroll unit was designed, the absolute first priority was safety. This operates a motor, and we had to make sure that it was as safe as possible. We're all dying to go fishing, but we don't want to die when we are fishing. So when you start the iTroll up, there's a safety interlock if the dial is above 0. Just for reference, 0 would be the white line pointing right at my fingers. Because the dial is above 0, now you have a safety interlock where one of two things have to happen before you can engage the servo motor. So the first line, the top line of the display tells you simply turn the dial to 0 before you can engage the servo. I'm going to turn the unit off. And we're going to go to the second way of engaging the servo. A couple of startup screens. But I'd like to highlight that the max throttle button and the hunt button does not work. The left and right steering buttons do if you have a steering unit on your iTroll, but it will not engage the throttle unless, like I said, one of the two directives are received. So the second way, which is the bottom line, is to press the idle button, which puts the unit in idle mode. Again, human input required. Pushing it again activates the servo, and you go to where the dial is set. Let's compare that to the TrollMaster unit. The TrollMaster was on, so I just turned it off. So on startup of the TrollMaster, you do have a safety interlock. The idle run button, if you push it once, you'll go to idle. If you push it again, you won't do anything because you have not made the servo go up and down. What I don't like about this unit is in the startup, the max throttle button is operational. If you're not familiar with the unit, you can go to max throttle in a blink of an eye. If you notice, their display turns off or goes to sleep to save battery power. You can have this unit in sleep mode, thinking it's off, grab it, hit that button, and that is downright dangerous. So I think you can see that the startup safety interlock is far superior to the TrollMasters. The function of the idle and run button on the throttle controllers. A little background, that button simply toggles between idle and run. So we're going to idle the motor. If you notice, it goes down fast, but when we go to run, the iTroll brings up the throttle in a slow and controlled manner. I'd like to stress that this is not a function of the servo, it's a function of the software engineering in the iTroll. You can see the throttle positions being computed when the throttle is advanced. We're going to do a test where if we're at idle, what happens when you press the max throttle button? These buttons bring the servo to maximum throttle. If you notice with the iTroll, it is non-functional. It is 100% locked out when you're in idle to prevent accidental full throttle application. Now let's test the TrollMaster unit. So the display went to sleep on the TrollMaster. I have to reset the servo. I'm going to put it at about 62 because that's 20% of the claimed 250 throttle positions that the TrollMaster gives. The iTroll in comparison gives you 1,000 throttle positions, but that's another video for another day. So what happens when you push the idle button? If you notice, both units went down rapidly, and that is okay. But this is where the difference is. When you go to run with the TrollMaster, it opens the throttle in a blink of an eye. That's dangerous. That's uncontrolled acceleration, especially when you consider when you tend to push that button to resume, it's right after fish was caught and people are up, putting things in the live well, resetting gear, picking nets up off the deck or something. They don't need to be thrown off the back of the boat or onto the deck. Now we're going to do that test of what happens with the max throttle button when you're in idle. Does it work or does it not work? Well, lo and behold, on the TrollMaster unit, it does work. This is absolutely unsafe. An accidental push of this button when you're at idle puts you at full throttle in the blink of an eye. Even an accidental push of this button, there's no return. Full throttle, back to idle. Obviously you can see that the only safe idle and run button is the one that is on the iTroll. This is a comparison of the operation of the max throttle buttons on the throttle controllers. This is used to bring the servo to maximum throttle to allow you to clear obstacles or speed up to raise baits when you go over low spots in the lake. If you notice, the iTroll goes up in a slow and controlled manner and goes down rapidly. Down rapidly is fine, but not up rapidly. You can see the iTroll computing all the different throttle positions as it advances. Software engineering, this is not in the servo. If you accidentally press the max throttle button in the iTroll, you just bail out. You don't go to 100%. You just stop and go back to where you're running at, trolling at. The TrollMaster in comparison, again, the display went to sleep. The max throttle button brings you to max throttle in a blink of an eye. Just dangerous. You don't need this kind of acceleration. If you notice, an accidental push of this button still takes you up, even though it's brief. There's no bailing out on this. Again, the max throttle button operation of the iTroll versus the TrollMaster. Another comparison is the fact that the iTroll is wired versus the TrollMaster is wireless. Consider this. The iTroll will never run out of power as long as you have battery power in your boat. But in the case that your alternator in your motor stops charging your batteries, the iTroll will continue to work actually up until about 7 volts, which is lower than the voltage required for your motor to create spark. So if you get in that situation, your motor will die before the iTroll dies. The wireless unit, on the other hand, has batteries in it. And if the batteries die in the unit while the engine is running, you'll have no control over the throttle of the motor and possibly steering if you have a steering unit on this. They do not have a bypass manual panel where you can steer and apply throttle along with this unit. Now, reports on the field, we have people that buy these and don't like them. And they buy an iTroll, and they tell us that these things have a love for batteries. There's only 2 AAA batteries in here. That is not a lot of power. Depending on usage, people tell us that the batteries can go bad in a day. But nonetheless, batteries will always go dead. There are no permanent batteries. And at that point, you have no control over your motor. So again, on a simple safety aspect, the wired iTroll is much more reliable than something where the batteries are guaranteed to die on you at some point in time. Additionally, the iTroll is wired to the boat. This can get lost, knocked overboard, or misplaced, and then again, you're in that same situation. No control over the motor's throttle and steering. So there it is. Make your decision, but I think you can tell that the iTroll, again, #1 priority in the design was safety. As far as the TrollMaster, I don't know where that priority is.